In today's video, we're going to be going over the brand new Rasasi Hawas Nautilus. So yeah, another Rasasi Hawas fragrance. It is completely out of control. I'm sure we can all agree on that. The amount of fragrances that they're releasing pretty much almost on a monthly basis at this point has been nothing short of just shocking, to say the least. But this one in particular, at least of this new batch, the newest wave of Hawas fragrances, caught my eye because this one looks like more of a summer-oriented version. We're in, coming up on August now, and so I figured I would go ahead and grab this one first, get some coverage out on this while we still have some summer weather left, and then we'll get into some of the other new ones as we move closer and closer to fall and even winter. Like the new Hawas Venom looks pretty interesting to me as well, but I have a feeling that one might not be as summer-oriented. So this one just launched on beautyhouse.com here within, I think, the past couple of weeks. That's where I purchased mine. I did go ahead and buy it. I'm sure at some point I'll probably end up with a free bottle from somebody, somewhere, somehow. It's kind of how this stuff always works. Stuff just shows up to my house at this point. But I wanted to get this one pretty quickly, so I did buy one. If you want to grab one for yourself, Beauty House has it, and you can use my code CHAOS5 for 5% off site-wide. They have a lot of great Rasasi fragrances, Rayhan fragrances, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So we're going to be going over my full review on this one. I went ahead and have been wearing it over the past couple of days here just to get a good understanding of it, and also I wanted to kind of see how the performance was before doing a video. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff today. Now let's go ahead and start off with how this fragrance smells. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, I was really kind of expecting something different out of this one. I don't know why, but I saw the blue, I saw the name, and I was thinking that maybe it would be something more traditionally summery and aquatic. Think of something more along the lines of a Bulgari Aqua Atlantique or something along those lines. Now granted, when I saw this one and looked at the notes didn't necessarily line up with that one really at all. I mean, there might be some similarities. So it wasn't so much the note breakdown, more so just the name and the bottle and just the overall look is kind of what had me expecting that. However, when I got this one in, I quickly realized that is not at all the case. It is a very kind of woody, pine-based scent with a little bit of this slight creaminess in here, but ultimately it has a very mature, dark, but still oceanic smell to it. And I'll tell you something that I think this one is very close to, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. This is kind of just the circulating thought as of right now, but it's Xerjoff 40 knots. If you go look around online, you'll see everybody saying that this is a clone of 40 knots by Xerjoff. Now this one has been out for years, definitely nothing new, and has always been a really nice, mature summer fragrance. Definitely something against the grain here with this one. And I'll tell you that I think that they're definitely similar. Do I think that the Hawas is a 100% exact match to the Xerjoff? No, and I would say that actually, especially off the opening, they are wildly different. The main thing is that this Hawas Nautilus opens up very pine needly. Like it has a very strong woody pine smell, which really catches you off guard. Again, considering the bottle, the name, it doesn't open up like your traditional aquatic. And I would also say that overall, I wouldn't necessarily consider this to be an aquatic scent, more so a marine scent. And I think that there's a difference. Aquatic is more light, watery, maybe brighter, more citrusy, bubbly even, whereas a marine scent, at least to me, is typically darker, heavier, deeper, typically has more of a woody presence, which this one definitely does. Now, I will say that once you get past that initial opening, the pine needle green type of smell does settle down. It doesn't completely disappear, but it does kind of go into the background a little bit, which allows some of the driftwood and the sea notes to kind of come through and shine and kind of let you in on more or less what the scent is going to be from then on out. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the full note breakdown really quick. They keep it pretty simple. Up top we have seawater and ambergris. In the mid we have cypress and cedarwood. In the base we have driftwood and sand. So again, pretty interesting note breakdown there. Sand in particular is one that doesn't really portray much of a smell. Rather, it just kind of gives you, I guess, the impression on what you want to picture, which maybe is like a beachy type of scent. And that's the other thing, is that this isn't really a casual smelling, playful scent at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's very mature, very refined, sophisticated. If you think of something for the beach, this would be more of like an evening out scent. If you're at a nice high-end restaurant on the beach overlooking the ocean, that's more or less what this one is. It wouldn't be my first choice for a summer day going out to the beach and playing around because it's just kind of too heavy and woody for that. And if you're wearing it in the heat, it would be a bit too much. But you for sure pick up on that cedar wood. Very cedar heavy, very driftwood heavy too. And driftwood's always been kind of a unique note. It's one that you can typically spot pretty easily because it kind of has a musky, woody smell to it instead of just being straight up woods and that's it. It just kind of, it has a certain type of muskiness to it and just more of an overall marine type of smell in general, even sometimes a little bit of a saltiness. And you do get a little bit of a salty smell out of this one. And again, off the opening, you see ambergris, which you definitely pick up on in here. It's going to be more of like, not an overly bright ambroxan, but more of a, again, a salty type of ambergris smell. And sea water is what they list off. Again, to me, not much of an aquatic, more of a marine style scent, just heavier, darker, like a deep blue smell, you know, just really strong and oceanic and powerful rather than being like a bright Acqua di Gio Profondo type of deal or, you know, Acqua di Gio EDT for that matter. Those are typically brighter, fresher. This one just has much more of a heavy, woody base. There's a little bit of a warmth to this one, which I might have said in the very beginning of the video, just a tiny bit sweet, but mostly just warm, kind of soft, smooth, and warm, just coming from all of the woods here. Even though it's a cedar wood, which typically has a little bit more of like a sharpness or sometimes a spiciness, it's kind of subdued with the driftwood in here to just give you that smoother feel all the way through. I love how this smells. I really, really do. Now, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be reaching for during the daytime in the summertime, all right? So again, this is where it can get a little bit misleading. You see the name, you see the bottle, you just, I mean, that looks like a summer day at the beach, just everything about it, but it can kind of sneak up on you and surprise you a little bit. So going into this one, keep that in mind. It might not be your everyday wear type of thing when it's hot outside during the daytime. Again, where I see this one really, really working well is summer evenings, going out to a nice restaurant, going out to dinner, a date in general. It would just work really well for that. And I think it leans more formal because it has a very classy and mature smell. Quite the opposite of a lot of other Hawas flankers. However, you can still wear this one casually if you want. Now let's go ahead and talk about performance here. That's something that I was pretty curious about. And typically with Hawas fragrances, you're usually doing pretty well on performance. Most of them are eau de parfums. This one is also, and it's been performing good on my skin. It surprised me initially because when I was first wearing it and spraying it, it would fill up a room with just a couple of sprays. I mean, very, very strong. So definitely one that not only projects, but also leaves a really heavy trail in the air, probably just because of high concentration of woods in this scent. Performance in terms of longevity here on my skin, you're gonna be around that 9-hour mark, which is really solid for what you're getting here. So 9 hours there, pretty good projection distance, but again, it really leaves a heck of a trail in the air. Overall, I'm a big fan of how this one smells. Not at all what I was expecting, but still one that I'm very happy with. If you're somebody who has smelled Xerjoff 40 knots before, again, this is gonna definitely be in that ballpark. Not exact, the opening is the main difference. It really is very green pine needle based off the opening. I was definitely not expecting that. They list off cypress, but no pine, but man, you sure get it. And then other than that, as it dries down, it does move closer to that Xerjoff 40 knots kind of woody and marine smell. Just very premium, very luxurious smelling. And not a badly timed release either, for all things considered here, kind of winding down into summer. This would be one that you could wear into fall as well, easily, and it would actually work really well if you wanted to. So like I mentioned, if you want to grab one of these for yourself, you could check them out at beautyhouse.com. Use my code CHAOS5. That'll save you 5% off site-wide. You got this, a bunch of other new Rayhan fragrances and everything else. Beauty House is going to be one of your better options when it comes to picking up a lot of these new, hot, popular clones. One other thing I wanted to share with you guys, I just recently completely revamped my website. If you want to go over to chaosfragrances.com, it's reached its final form. It's been a lot of things over the years. I've sold decants for a while. ended up getting too busy with that where a team of 2 of us couldn't keep up with it, so I had to pivot away from that. We just couldn't provide the service that we really wanted to at that point. We just couldn't keep up with all of the orders that we were getting, which is a good thing but also a bad thing because I was really trying to go for a quick turnaround. So we had to pivot away from that, unfortunately. But as I said, we've reached our final form now. We are a fragrance database. We've currently got a little over 70,000 fragrances on our website that you can look through. A lot of them have direct links with offered prices where we list off a bunch of the discounters and then track the prices and give you the very best price right then and there. So that just makes shopping way easier for you without having to go between, 7, 8, 9, 10 discounters. We list the lowest price for you on a lot of the popular stuff. A lot of the more obscure things, which we have a lot of, don't have that, but they still have links for you to be able to quickly shop and look at prices yourself. All the fragrances are complete with note breakdowns, accords, gives you a general guideline in terms of, seasonality and temperatures, when it can best be worn, perfumer data, launch years, all of that stuff. Again, 70,000 fragrances, and that's growing as we add to it every day. We've got a lot of cool stuff on there. So if you're wanting to find a place that maybe works a little bit better for you in terms of navigating, we don't have ads, we don't have anything like that, check out our website, chaosfragrances.com. A lot of cool stuff on there if you want to find out information on, just about anything. Again, that number is growing rapidly as we add to the database every day. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I just wanted to share that with you. One of the many things we've been working on around here. That's why the videos have been a little bit slow. But if you're interested or curious as to what we've been doing, that's one of the things. You can check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again with another video here soon. Take care.